Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here. Couple of different things today. First off, I need to take the middle out of this Reader's Digest condensed book because I am down to these few glue pages. So I thought first off, I'm going to show you how I go about this. I'm not an expert at it. I just kind of do it the best way I know how. And it doesn't always go according to plan. So first off, I'm going to stand the book up and kind of pull the front cover away to try and get a little bit of a gap. Hopefully this is okay in the camera, that I'm not too up in your face. And I'm going to slide carefully my craft knife down this paper here that connects. Oops. Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe I can actually do it this way. This is not something I've ever done. I have never done it that way before. So I could actually just pull the whole centre out. Well, look at that. I have never achieved that before. And then I've got this centre bit here which normally I would take out, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out, being careful not to push too far through and cut through the spine of the book. I on occasion have actually done that. It just means you cover it with something else, but ideally it's best not to cut into it if possible. So I'm just going very carefully, not pushing too hard with my knife. And typically these get completely damaged in my process of removing, so I don't typically keep them. But this one is actually intact. And I'm just wondering, so there's a layer of paper and fabric and more paper. So I'm actually going to keep this one because it can be really cool, grungied up and made fun and used however. I don't know, I'm going to keep it because it's the first ever one I've managed to get off intact. Normally it's like torn into little shreds as I'm wrestling to get it out of the book. So there's the cover, ready, needs a bit of a tidy up, but it's all good. Ready to turn into a journal or something. So my journal that I'm using this month is actually a Reader's Digest cover. I'm just going to grab it. Oh, that was, oh gosh, making a mess. It was quite hard to reach where I'd popped it. So this is the journal I'm working in, and it is a Reader's Digest cover, an older one than this one. And I did it, oops, it's got fluff in there. We'll get rid of that. That's rather gross. Yeah, so I just covered the spine actually. I didn't cover the actual cover because I thought it was fun. Sewed in 2 signatures, and I've been working in this. I started it way back when, just a little diversion here. When did I start it? 1st of, where's the month? March. Started this back in March and then had a bit of a meltdown on my journaling. Tried again in May, did a couple of days, and then that fell over, and then I've come back to it here in September, and now I'm back to daily journaling. So doing well so far. This is yesterday, which I still haven't quite finished filling in, but that's okay. I don't call that behind, I call that up to date. So that's you know what you can do with a Reader's Digest cover. Okay then, so we have the book, and what I do with it now, I'm not going to do it on camera, but I go through, and any pictures that I like this one, I will remove and put them in my stash. Oh, that's a lovely image too. There's some really nice ones. Some of them I don't like. This one's really creepy. He's got little claw hands and yeah. So creepy images or war images, things that I don't like, I just leave in and they just get glued over top of. But I always harvest the images out of these because they have beautiful illustrations. So that didn't take long. A lot quicker than what I was anticipating because that centre came out so nicely. Okay, so for today, I have these. This is an envelope and a card, and it's in quite thick, sturdy cardstock. This is in a packet of three envelopes, 3 cards that my hubby gave me as part of my birthday month during August. And I was talking with him this morning. It's like, I'm not sure what to do for my video. And he said, why not do a project with those funky things I gave you? And he meant these, because I had to clarify what he actually meant, because he gave me a gift every day. I ended up with 3 packets of these, so I've got 9 envelopes and 9 cards, and I've been struggling to come up with a way to use them. The problem being, I love the folio closure, but the envelope itself is quite tight. Like, there's not a lot of room in there, and by the time you put the card in, not that I would necessarily use them together anyway, but just as an idea, like, I couldn't make a little journal insert because there's no room for it. And even without pockets or anything, you wouldn't get very many pages to actually fit inside. So the only thing I can think of to do is actually to start taking this apart and see what we can do with it. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I might just scrap this video and call it, you know, something I need to do off camera. So I'm bringing you along on this rather, I don't know, video. Like, whoops, and I just sliced that. So I don't want to cut myself. So let's just see what we can do. Can we do anything? It may be a complete and utter, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? Fail. That's what the word I'm looking for. It could be a complete and utter fail. And for a start, I'm seeing that this is not actually that easy to peel up. And this is in the way, so I'm hampered with how I can actually get in there. And I don't want to completely destroy the thing. I would like to find a way to use it that's fun and cool. My husband is just the sweetest, but sometimes he does present me with a bit of a dilemma in how I actually go about. I'm just trying to keep my hand out the way, this hand, and yet still hold the piece down, because I don't want any red decorations on this at the moment. Not that sort of red anyway. I should slip and cut myself. But it is actually quite tough to get down. Oops, and there I've just sliced it again. So yeah, there's a good chance I will scrap this video and do something else, but let's see what we can do. Now, getting this part where this bit is attached is probably the hardest part. Okay, I haven't completely got under the cardboard layer. Some places it's actually split. I've cut in between, but that's okay. We've got it open almost. So, bit messy. But my idea for this is, if I can get it to work somehow, is that I would take it down a grungy route. I haven't done a lot of grungy, so I think that would be quite fun to do something grungy. And if this gets a little destroyed in the process, then it's just going to lend itself to that. So that's, you know, it's a bit damaged. but we may end up chopping it off. I don't know yet. So we have a tube kind of now. I'm wondering, do I want to cut it? I think I need to cut it down the seam as well. So let's see what sort of mess we can make of that. Yep. Just trying to get between those two layers. Can I just... Oh, that's better. Using my fingers, I feel like it's doing less damage until this point. So I might need knife help here. Get my fingers out the way. Okay, not too bad. Okay, I feel like we're getting somewhere. So we've got this bit of card now with a folio closure that's possibly not in a place that's going to be very useful, but I don't really want to move it because, you know, it's set with eyelets and everything. So what could we do? What could we do, my friends? So if we ignore this flap here, if we were to cut that off, we'd have an opening here. This could still close here, but does that make sense if this is open? Is what I'm thinking. Well, actually, it could still work if we turn it up this way. I'm going to cut that top off because I think it needs to go. So this, what was the bottom flap, I'm going to just trim that off with a craft knife. Just don't want to cut my string in the process. Get that out the way. Here we go. Can we use that somewhere? Possibly. We'll put it to the side for now. If we're going grungy, you know, we might want a grungy little sort of torn up cardboard strip somewhere. Who knows? Okay. So now I'm thinking this way up. So the closure itself becomes just a fun little feature rather than an essential part, but it would actually serve to close. Whoops, I'm going up there, aren't I? That's what I was doing. Would it serve to close now that we've removed that strip? And I've done that a bit funkily. Funkily, what a word that is. So it still gapes a little at the top there, doesn't it? Just a fun interactive feature that doesn't actually serve to totally close it up. Oh, now I can't grab it because I've got no fingernails. This one broke again last night, so I had to trim it really short. Is there enough string? Oh, well, that would work. Just wrapping it right around and back. So slightly different way to do it, which means we're not really using this bottom one. So we have options. All that is that there are options. So I think it will still work, even if it's just an interactive little feature that doesn't do a lot. Okay, so what I'm thinking inside here is doing some sort of journal. There's a little bit of glue, I think, from when they put the eyelets in. I did notice when I was playing with it this morning that I couldn't get things right to the bottom because there was a glue that had glued it shut. So pages, let's grab something out. This is a bit big. Oh, it's also very grease stain, so we're going to throw that one out. This one's too big. Okay, let's just grab coffee dyed paper because that's easier. Still too big, but we can cut it down. Let's fold this in half. So I hope you don't mind coming along on this weird journey with me of trying to figure something out, because I'm still not 100% where I'm going with it. Now, do I want to like put it into this side so it opens up like that? Do I want to put it at the top? So it would need to be trimmed down, obviously. So it flips up that way. I think first off I am going to trim it to the height so I'm not hampered visually by excess. So let's do about there, I think. Trim it off. So it's a little easier to visualize when it's actually the right size. So I'm wondering about making two signatures, two thin signatures, hinging in or sewn in to either side. So let's cut down another piece. Just use this one to measure. Doesn't have to be exact. So to make it clearer, I was thinking, what if I sewed one signature in on this side, so it flips out this way, and one signature in on this side, so it flips out that way, and then they can just kind of nest together. So I probably want to make it a little bit shorter to give it a bit more room to move. So let's trim a little bit off this side. Not a lot, just a little bit, so it doesn't get caught up in the other side. So if this goes over here and that's sewn in, just to give a little bit more room here for this one to move and that it's not kind of binding up on each other. But I feel like I need more than like 2 sheets of paper. But I think that could work. And then when it's closed up, it will depend how bulky it gets as to whether this string will cut the mustard in terms of wrapping all the way around. But we've got a little bit of leeway. It's also making it a little bit poppy, like it wants to pop out. So maybe if we finish wrapping that round. Okay, I think we're kind of getting there, but I don't want to sew pages in yet because we need to like dress this up a little bit, don't we? I'm just playing with different ways of folding it. We could just tuck that other eyelet in. That would work too if we had this up here, just as a little feature, or I don't know. Okay, so how are we going to dress this up? That is the question. I think I want a darker ink on it because vintage photos probably not dark enough. So let's go with ground espresso. Grab out my, just looking for the right one. Where's it gone? Might have to use a new one. We'll just use a new one. That's a different colour. So there we go, grab a new one. Okay, let's just dress around the edges to start to grungy it up a little bit. Get some good ink on the sponge. Oops, don't put my sleeve in there. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful dark colour. I have no idea how I'm going to decorate this. We probably won't get pages sewn in today though. We might have to revisit this wee project at some other point. Just depends, you know, how quickly I move on and how quickly I make decisions on what I want to do. Giving it a nice dark edge, as dark as I can. The flips and flaps make it a bit of a challenge to get all the edges. Isn't that yummy? That beautiful dark brown, very rich brown. Right, this bit down here. Yeah, it should be actually quite fun to do something grungy, because I've never done a truly grungy style. There's been elements of grunge and things I do, but not a full-on grunge. Is the coffee dyed paper grungy enough? Possibly not, but we won't just have coffee dyed paper in. We'll find something else to go with it. In fact, some of my eco dyed papers are probably would be good, because some of them I used too much rusty metal and they turned a bit black. So I think they would probably be excellent for this. Okay, so I think I just want a bit more on that edge. And I might just kind of like dirty up those a little bit as well. And do we want to do the inside? Probably do. Need a bit more ink. I realise inking things is not terribly exciting for you guys, but like it's part of the process, particularly when trying to grungy something up. Give that a bit of a smush around. Good amount of ink on. That's better. Trying to think if I've got any gel prints that would work nicely, possibly, but I'm not sure that I could put my hands on them right now. Okay, just want to get down on this area as well. probably want to do that same on, although these are going to have their signatures sewn in, so possibly not super critical, but let's go ahead and do them anyway. There's a bit of glue residue along there, but it just adds to the grunge, so you've got to learn to appreciate those imperfections as part of grunge, because they work, they actually add to the look, not detract from it. Okay, I haven't done the back. I can do the back off camera because we are looking at how to decorate it, so the back's not super critical. So we've got this fun kind of messy area here where we took the flap off, the bottom flap, because remember this was the bottom, which is quite fun. Thinking some old book page, like really old discoloured. Is that discoloured enough? Maybe not. Some old newspaper could be fun. What else have I got in my bag? Sorry, it is off camera. It's the only way I can see into my bag without pulling everything out. Oh, there's this little bit I was thinking of. Maybe a bit of that. Okay, not as fruitful as I was hoping. But I do have this wonderful 1921 French book, which will be super cool on that. This is the one that the pages are not cut apart. Let's just take this signature out, and you'll see what I mean when I take it out. Giving me trouble this morning. Here we go. Try not to cut the pages. Go. So try and find that signature. I think that's it. So once again, you're watching me take apart a book. Is that one? Yeah, that is. All right. So I've taken the signature out. And this is what's funny about this book, is those pages are okay, but these ones haven't been cut. So they're still connected, but not only that, they've also not been chopped at the top, so they're still connected here. So the whole thing, oh, I did miss a page. That's probably why it was doing that. So it hasn't been cut here or down here. I find it hilarious. 1921 book, obviously never been read, because you would find it impossible to read like that. You cannot separate the pages in the book unless you were to like run a knife along them, but which hasn't been done. Right, let's just take a page out of that. Oh, there's a helicopter going over. It's very low, very loud. And I'm very cold. It's very cold here this morning. Snow on all the hills. Right, the string is going to admittedly be a nuisance to work around, but we will manage. Probably don't want the blank parts, just want the text. So let's tear it down a bit. I don't know what this book's about, but you kind of catch little glimpses of things, and I think this is marriage. Well, that's what it looks like, only with one R. Mariage. And tomb down here with an E on the end. It's like, is that talking about someone dying? I have no idea. I don't read French. That one I'm going to throw away because it's a bit narrow. So yeah, how can a book survive for over 100 years and like still have its pages not separated? It's so weird, but so funny. I don't normally distress around individual pieces, but I think I want to, just because I want to grungify it up as much as I can, really go all out, which is going to be difficult for me because I'm not, as much as I distress everything, I'm more vintage rather than grunge. And I've got to be careful with this paper that I don't tear it while I'm inking it, and I'm not going super heavy because I'm afraid to damage the paper. So is it going to be worthwhile doing? I think it makes a little difference. Okay, so I'll also have to be careful about my glue pages because I think this paper would just, if it's stuck to my glue pages, it's going to just shred, I think. It's very crunchy paper. I think it was a very cheaply produced book, which is part of the reason that the pages weren't actually separated properly. And the paper quality is quite low, which makes it perfect to tear up and use. Possibly should have not had that straight at the bottom, but oh well. We want to just pop the other piece over here. I think so. I think that looks quite good. You can see the difference between the distressed and not distressed. So I'm going to do the same here. I've re-inked the pad, so it's probably a bit darker on this side. Actually, I think I'm just going to give that a bit of a different shape at the bottom, just so it's not so straight. Right. Fresh side of the page, just to avoid any tearage. I'm going to go through a lot of glue pages that way, aren't I? So just trying to kind of get it even to what the other side is. Is that straight? I don't actually think the text was straight on the page. I think I noticed that as I was tearing it. Right, what else? Let's get away from that straight edge. Oops, this is also, this is a 1950s book, from memory. It's also very crunchy paper, cheap production. I find it interesting how you can get modern books that are very, very fragile and, well, when I say modern, it's still old, isn't it? But you know, they're a lot more fragile than something that's like a couple of 100 years old. I find that quite fascinating. Just depends on the quality of the paper and where it's been kept as well. Has a little bit to play if it's been either stored in the sun or been wet or something. So just collaging at the moment. Thinking what else can I do to grungy it up? Not sure. We'll just play it as it comes. Right. Just trying to get a good area, because again I think if this stuck to my glue page it would just tear. And tear, you know, I've already made it to fit where I want it, so if it tore it would just be annoying. Not the end of the world, but just annoying. Okay, that bit, and so who out there has done grungy style, like full on grungy? Actually, I might put that one up there. That's kind of fun. So it's not directly opposite. I'm really liking how it's looking so far, actually. I think it's fun. How about a bit of newspaper? It's all sort of yellowed and mottled and just interesting. Let's just take a section. It's not super old. It is from when? Have I got a date left? Or have I torn off all the dates? I think I might have torn off all the dates. Yeah, can't find a date. If I looked in some of the ads, I might find a date, but it's not really important. It just looks cool, no matter how old it is or isn't. It's the classified ads. Don't want that big a bit, I think. I want that. I quite like the pieces matching in terms of where they've been torn. Although these parts don't really match anymore. That's okay. Just this edge is bugging me a little bit. Because it was too like straight down that edge. Okay. Give them an ink up as well. That street sweeper down the street now. Gosh, there's a lot of noises happening outside today. Haven't actually heard the street sweeper for a while. Maybe I just haven't noticed. Because this time of the morning I'd normally be watching YouTube. It's only 8:30 in the morning. But I've got a few things on, so it's like I need to crack on and get my video done early. So I've got time to edit it before I head out to the food bank this afternoon. I've also got to put fuel in the car, and I haven't put fuel in a car for years. It's just not something I've had to do or have done, and I'm a bit freaked out about it. Like, it's crazy, isn't it, that I'm a bit freaked out about putting fuel in the car. But hubby's always done it for me, you know, because there were periods where I couldn't and where I wasn't driving, so didn't, you know, I wasn't using fuel myself. But my car is on E4 not enough in my view. and hubby was tired last night and he didn't want to head down and put fuel in it last night. And I'm like, it's too uncomfortable for me to be that low on fuel, particularly if I have to do any food deliveries this afternoon. Extra running around. It's just, there probably is enough fuel in the car, but it's just uncomfortable. You know, what if I was on a back road and I ran out of fuel? What if I didn't have cell phone reception there? You know, all these things, and I'd rather be safe than sorry. Just going to give my fingers a wee clean off here because they're a bit gluey and a bit inky and doesn't look pretty. Okay, so we've got some collage book page. I think that's all we need of that. So I'll pop these bits away off my desk. So yeah, you probably think I'm really weird, but it's like, you know, what side of the, I know which side of the car it's on. Hubby told me this morning, it's like it's on this side and this is the lever to open it, and you know, all that sort of, oh, what about this flap? Do I want to put anything on there? I kind of ignored that flap, didn't I? Yeah, so just overthinking things is probably my problem. Where'd that book page go that I had, the old one? I can't find what I've done with it. Oh well, let's just grab another bit. Got a whole book of it. I don't need to fluff around trying to find the bit I was using, even if it was torn out and nicely prepared. I'll just do another one. Yeah, so totally overthinking it. You know, I'm sure once I've done it, it will be fine. And now I'm thinking how much fuel to put in, because I have to pay for it at the moment because we haven't got enough in our joint account. So I've just withdrawn some money from out of PayPal and it goes to our joint account. So I've then got to wait for it to show up, and then hubby has to transfer it to my account. And it's like, yeah, all the stuff, like it's just a whole drama just to put fuel in the car. I feel like it's just ridiculously complicated. And I'd rather hubby just did it for me. And I'm very lucky in that normally he does. But anyway, I'll get over it. I'll do it and we'll be fine. And I'll be able to write about it in my journal, how I was a big girl and put fuel in my own car. Don't want those straight edges, I think. Just want to taper them off a bit. I think I'll just put that in the middle. Can we fold those flaps back so they're not creating a shadow? So yeah, time to strap on the big girl pants and act like an adult. But you know, pumps have changed so much since I last did it. Like hubby always pays at the pump and he has an app and gets rewards points. I don't, so I'm conscious that whatever I put in the car, we're not actually getting rewarded for, which is another good reason to just let him do it. And so yeah, just but I don't want to run out of fuel either. So I might just like put as little as I can in. I don't know, 10 bucks, 20 bucks, I don't know how much. Just to give me that little comfort that I'm not going to run out of fuel while I'm running around this afternoon, and then get him to put a bit more in tonight, because I'll be heading out tonight to the community dinner, but hubby's staying home, so maybe he can pop out and do it tonight for me. Alright, let's grab another bit of this newspaper. Oh, my fingers are inky and dirty, even though I just cleaned them, and they're also very cold. making little bits to fit. I almost need like a that's still not right. I'm trying to get a bit sort of fit down in the angle, but struggling with that. Oops, I'm just making it smaller is all I'm doing, not actually getting the shape I want. Okay, just glue it on, it won't matter. It'll be fine. Give this tiny little piece a little bit of an inky edge. I have no idea how long we've been recording for actually. I suppose I should check that soon. Make sure I'm not keeping you past time. Yeah, that works well enough. Right, now I've got to try and sort the other side. I think I'm going to go with a separate bit of paper and try again. Oh, that's actually got a name on it, which I'm not so fussed on. Yeah, that's a cute little bit there. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, the other one had a name and address on it. Not a private address, a business address, but still like, don't really want that on my piece. So we're putting glue on that side and gluing it down. Okay, do I want anything else on there? We haven't done any music. Do we want to do a little bit of music? Let's have a look and see if I need a big bit. It's not so, I mean, it's very old paper, but it's just not discoloured. I think maybe I needed it longer. Oh no, I'll just put it off to the side. Let's give it some ink as well. This is 19... Oh, now what is it? 1911? 1909? I can't remember. Early 1900s anyway. So it's more of a grey paper than a creamy paper. But it's not like butcher paper or anything. But it's very, very thin. It's a big, big book that it comes out of. And I think I might put a bit of ink across the top of it as well, just to kind of age it a bit, maybe a bit of vintage photo. And I've got some glue on the front of it, and it's picking up the ink, which just adds to that grunge, which is fantastic. And I think I'm going to go in with vintage photo and just add some more colour to these in places, just to, you know, grungy it up a bit more. Excellent, that's looking good to me. Right, now what else do I want to do? Still haven't decided whether this is going to sit over the top or underneath. Or I like how that little bit peeps down the bottom there if I do put it underneath. Okay, I'm feeling like I want to do some more grunging, and I'm thinking, this may seem counterintuitive, but white paint. It's like, but white is white. White isn't grungy, but wait. Where is my white paint? Oh. Well, maybe we won't be. It normally lives beside me, and I can't find it. Where is my white paint gone? Oh, there it is. I had stuff obscuring it. Of course I did. Right. Just ordinary house paint. Get a scratchy brush. Actually, I don't need my paint palette. I can just use my glue page for this. Just pour a little bit out. Don't need a lot. Whoops, we'll get rid of that crusty bit. Don't need that bit. Oh, the paint is cold. It's making my hand even colder. Maybe a little bit more than that. Oh, there's a big paint goober there. Ew, gross. Let's just get that out. There we go. Big paint goober. How are we going on time? Oh, we are almost done. Gosh. Okay, this will be the last thing then, is we're going to do a little bit of a whitewash. So I don't want a lot of paint on my brush. And I'm just going to kind of very lightly brush it around. Being careful not to get it kind of on my mat or anything. I feel like this corner is a little bit plain, but we can always add some stuff. It won't be this video though, because we are almost out of time. And a bit down here. Getting some on that little eyelet circle there, it doesn't matter. In fact, we probably should put some on the other one. So on this one, let's add a bit, you know, got to dirty that up as well. Make it all fit together. So you don't want to like obscure all the text or anything. You're just kind of truly doing a whitewash in different directions, and a scratchy brush just makes sure it gives it a nice distressed look rather than a heavy look. Now I've got way too much paint on there, so what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to cover this page, this glue page, and it can be a base for something. So I'll just smooth it out before it dries and goes all funky. Oops, getting some on my mat there. Let's clean that up before that makes a complete and utter mess. Okay, I've still got too much paint really, but it'll dry. Oh, there's a goober. Let's get that off onto a scrap because we don't need that crusty bit. Hope I'm not getting paint on my hoodie, because it's one hubby gave me for my birthday month, and I don't want to get it all grimy this quickly into the game. We're only in September, and I only got it at the beginning of August, so I was not intending on playing with paint today. Right, so that's going to be a nice base for something once it dries. Pop it aside. Oh, now I'm making a complete and utter mess. Clean up, clean up, clean up, and I'll have to clean my brush as well. Just pop that and hope it doesn't roll anywhere. Clean my fingers. things you do when you're running out of time. You start doing nonsense like this. All right, let's get that paint off my desk, off my mat. Right, and that can go in the rubbish. Okay, so with this now, because I've gone very lightly, it should basically be dry. I'm going to grab out another new pad for my block and change this one. And I'm going to go black. But I'm going to use my older black that's a bit drier, because I don't want it to be like black, you know, and my other pad, which is a lot newer, could risk being way too dark and too much. So I'm just going to use this older one. You could just use black paint. I just didn't have black paint. And I also want to use different colours on it. So not just black. I'm starting with black. Just and a bit of black on the edges in places, not everywhere, but just in places. Oh, do I want to do the inside of that flap? I'm not sure. I hadn't thought about the inside of the flap. So just hitting some of those edges with the black just to give them a little bit more grunge. Okay. Okay, that's the black. And now I'm going to go, excuse me, must be time I stopped my video, with a bit of vintage photo on top of that. So just layering until I want to layer no more. A bit on here. Okay, so I do envisage we'll probably be revisiting this project, perhaps doing the signatures, finishing decorating, working it all out. So I hope this was of value to you guys, that it, I don't know, was entertaining or something, because I'm really just trying to work it out. Now I'm fiddling around with how that's going to go. So it does at the moment hold together, just wrapped around like that. Whether it will long term, I don't know. We'll just play. Okay, thanks for joining me, my friends, on this grungy journey. I hope you have a brilliant day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.